Well, I thought it was a big win. I thought it was a really important win for our football team and for our outgoing seniors, and especially the ones that have been here since 2022, because they've built this thing up to something that we can be proud of. And then it's just so cool to see these guys that have come in as transfers just assimilate into our culture, embrace it, add to it, be selfless, all the things that we emphasize. And I think today was just a sign of our mental toughness as a team, our resilience as a team, our belief in what we do and why we do it and how we do it. And that first half was it was an interesting game. I just found out what the time of possession was. I knew it was a wide, a wide margin. I didn't know it was that wide. The key there was our defense was able to keep them out of the end zone and get stops, and that gave us a chance to stay in the game. Obviously, we would have liked to stop them sooner, but we came out in the second half and we ran the ball extremely well. You guys have heard me talk about balance a lot, and balance to us is not necessarily numerical, but it's when you have to run the ball to win a game, you can do that. When you have to pass the ball to win a game, you can do that. Today we needed to run the football to win the game, and we were able to do that. And so that's a sign, I think, of a balanced offense. So I'm just proud of the guys. I'm proud of the team. It's a little bit bittersweet, a little sobering when you see guys walking out of the locker room with their nameplates, knowing it's going to be the last time that they play here at the Rent. But they're smiles and they're happy, and now we just reset right back to our baseline and we go back to work for next week.
Questions? Coach, like you said, in the first half there was a bit of early struggles getting the offense to get going, and then on the defensive side, stopping the run. Heading into the second half, what was the biggest adjustment you wanted to make?
We needed to stop the forward progress on the run. You know how they just kind of bleed you for yards. And we weren't bad on offense in the first half. We went down and we scored that first drive. It's just we couldn't get the ball back for our offense. And the second time we got it back, I think we went 3 and out. We needed to convert first downs in order to stay on the field. But it wasn't necessarily big adjustments that we made. It was just refocusing on the things that we do well. It was emphasizing getting knocked back at the line of scrimmage. Fortunate for us, they're probably their best offensive player. Liam, he got hurt. He broke his wrist. And so they had to play with their backup quarterback, who's a good player as well. But, you can't discount the fact that, that guy is a difference maker. And so not having him in there helped us. But I want to give credit to our guys because they ended up making the stops, and we made the plays on offense, and we ran the ball when we had to, and we converted when we had to. And I'm proud of our guys.
Cam said prior to the season he wanted to rush for 1,000 yards this season. It seems like he picked the right time to get over that mark. Just talk about him and what he's meant this year.
Well, he's meant so much, not just this year, but every year. And you guys know, because I've told the story about Cam so many times. When he first came here, we weren't sure if he was going to be a defensive back or he was going to be a running back. We had him at defensive back. I just said it to the team, and Cam's heard me say it a lot. There was some immaturity to him. But that's kind of typical of college players, which shows why you have to have patience as they develop, and you help them develop into the young men that, Cam's become. And it's at a certain point in his career, I think he just said enough is enough. I'm going to really put my foot down and put the pedal down and be a great football player. He's tough as can be. He's a dog. We say a dog. D-A-W-G is a dog. He's got dog in him. You can ride with a guy like Cam. We got a lot of good football players on this team, and a lot of guys have done some special things, especially offensively, and Brian Parham defensively. But when Cam is rolling the way Cam was rolling today, that's just the toughness that we need, that we feed off of. And so just really fortunate to have the chance to coach him.
Jim, do you stop and think at all? I mean, I know how tunnel vision you are toward the games and the team, but do you think in the guys who've been here 4 years ever stop and think about what you've brought to the state of Connecticut when you see the energy in the ballpark and the enthusiasm for what you've done the last 4 years, particularly compared to when you got here? Do you ever take a step back and think about that, look at that?
No, not until the job is complete. The mission's not complete. You know, we play FAU a week from today, and so any distractions that are going to get in the way of our focus on that game are just unacceptable. And if I'm going to preach that to the players, then I have to be able to do that. But at some point, you know, hopefully we can go, hey, this is, you know, we got something going here, and we'll keep building on it. But honestly, Dom, it's just not something I'm capable of doing. I've learned that to me is a poison, and I don't want to do that.
Air Force obviously presents a lot of challenges with its misdirection,
Whew,
in
you
QB
kidding.
running. How do you think your defense, I mean, obviously some challenges through the first half, but the fourth down stops that you mentioned.
Yeah.
You know, what were you pleased about with how your defense performed against this challenge?
The stops, you know, we gave up 16 points to a team that's averaging 33.8, I believe, a game. You wouldn't think that style of offense would you know, get average that many points per game, but we held them to basically, you know, less than half of what they averaged. So those fourth down stops were huge. You know, you can't even underestimate them or overestimate them. So I was just proud of the way we responded at halftime as a team to the situation we're in. We went with a 2-point lead, 9-7, and just determined that we were not gonna let that thing get away from us.
Along those lines, too, just how tough of an offense is that to prepare for? Can you really simulate that in practice?
No, it's incredibly hard. Do we have any academy teams on the schedule coming up?
Air Force next year.
Oh God. Yeah, no, I mean it's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. You know, you just never see it, and they are so efficient running it, and they've been doing it for so long. And yeah, you do the best you can, but you can't simulate the speed at which they work, and then the misdirection and the, you know, trying to find the football is, you know, that's a real challenge. So yeah, but we're going to enjoy this one today, and we'll worry about next year's game next year.
One more for Coach. Jim, the fourth down stops have been talked about a couple times. Malachi McLean had a couple of those today. Just talk about the overall game he played.
Oh, he's a good football player. You know, he's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's tough as can be, and he plays hard and it's physical, and it means a lot to him. And he plays through pain, and he brings intensity to practice every day. And I think that combination, you know, today we didn't play, as you guys probably noticed, we didn't play what we typically play on defense. We played 4-3-4. So we put in a new defense this week. So that's a credit, I think, to Matt and the staff and then the players for, you know, taking the time to learn it. And but Malachi's a really good football player. He's a good tackler. For not a big guy, he's just as tough as nails.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thanks everyone. Appreciate it.